2 weeks after the release. Uh, then when I finished the content at level 50, I took like another like 2 weeks break because the story content leveling stuff was like so boring, to be honest. But then I got quickly to the game and I started maining Berserker. So it's basically this one. I made this Berserker.
Wait 1 second on what you're showing. I'm just trying to finish this Chaos Dungeon and then I'll get to it. But I figure I'm recording already, so I figured I'd let you do like an introduction for yourself. So no, that was pretty good. Now, can you talk about some of the things as you've been playing the game before we get into showing off your account? Because again, I'm just trying to finish this real fast. It's 75% almost done. The Can you talk a little bit about like maybe some of the problems that you've had playing the game, some of the things you've liked or disliked, like what attracted you to the game in the first place? What was the first thing that you noticed about the game?
So basically, I like the new like MMO because I didn't play MMO for a while. I used to play Drakensang. I don't know if you know it.
I don't. Dragon Scent, you said,
Yeah,
and that.
it's kind of like smaller game, but it's similar to Lost Ark.
Okay, like combat system and everything too, or an older version of it.
Yeah, it's basically very similar. It has also like dungeons. The like, it's quite similar.
Can I ask why you stopped playing that game, or if you stopped? I guess is really the question.
Well, yeah, of course I stopped, but it was kind of like it got to the point where it was like pay to win, basically,
Okay.
and
Okay.
it was very hard to progress. And also a lot of people left, so it was kind of like it's kind of outdated right now because I played it like I don't know 8 years ago, something. It was one of the first bigger MMOs, I think.
Okay. So the game is similar. You stopped playing that game because of pay to win. Now the paid to win, or I'm going to say paid to play, because in this game I don't really see it as paid to win, because you're a team, so you're all helping each other. That didn't.
Yeah, but it was actually like here in Lost Ark you can achieve like everything which pay to win player can achieve. But in that game it was like actually impossible to get to the level of pay to win player.
Okay. So I don't know enough about the game to understand the differences there, but that's what I was going to ask, is if that bothered you here. But clearly I got the answer. So all right, now I actually have your screen up. So why don't you talk a little bit like what you were doing with the character? So you made the Zerker your main, if I remember correctly. Did I mishear that?
Yeah, I was always kind of like the warrior player in all MMOs I played. I always played warriors, so I made Berserker as my first choice.
A gun lancer and a
And
destroyer. Lol.
yeah, my roster is kind of like yeah. But then I kind of like I thought I could only play one character, but obviously Lost Ark is different. It's a lot about alts. So I looked up some videos like from Saintone, ATK, and so on, and I really liked like Soul Fist and War Dancer. So those were my other alts. But I quickly found out that they just don't work in tier one and tier two, and they were like so weak. So basically, I stopped playing them and deleted them, and I just made the 6 berserkers at first. So it worked for a while. I got to like hard Valtan with my main berserker, which was 1445, and my other 5 zerkers were like 1370, just doing Argos. And it was like alright for gold, but it quickly got really boring. So I deleted basically all berserkers and decided to make Gunlancer and Shadowhunter. So these two actually stayed. And then after these two, I quite struggled. So I made Artillerist, but I didn't like it. I made Deathblade, but I also didn't really like it that much.
I'm happy you
I
stopped
also
deleting characters though. That does hurt when people delete them. I'm happy you stopped deleting them. Also, what you said to the warrior aspect, that's something nobody's ever pointed out in these is the fact that the War Dancer and the Soulfist come online so late. Like you need so much requirements, like gems, spec,
yeah,
everything, right?
exactly. Yeah.
And I never thought of it like that, but you're right. Like the warrior classes actually all come online pretty quickly, actually.
Yeah. At first, like first few months, I really struggled with like what kind of characters I actually like. So like I also don't like this one actually. I want to
The
replace it
scrapper.
with support. Yeah, I made the scrapper first. I made the taijutsu. I made 5x3 setup, but it just felt like the numbers are so weak, and I just couldn't. So I made the shock scraper, and the numbers were good, but it was just so slow and boring. So yeah, this character had like two 5x3 setups, which were so expensive as
That's
well.
brutal. Yeah, and you said I remember you
And
said in the Discord that you did it at a high note, like a high when it was expensive.
yes. So
Yeah.
Shadowhunter, I bought
Can we stop
all.
right there for a second, though? Not to cut you off, but I just want to make that point that
Yeah,
the
okay.
problem with back in the day when people were spending a ton of gold on these expensive sets was exactly what you just experienced. Is that you picked up a character that you weren't even fully sure about. Not only put one build into it, but two builds into it. And this isn't an insult towards you, but this is it's an ideology. It's a factual concept that a lot of people did, and a lot of people quit the game because they put all their love and attention into a character that they believed they were going to play for a while, and then they didn't, and it cost their account progression. So I think that's a
Yeah,
really good moment to stop and take a look at that for everybody, because remember I am recording this, to just realize that like this is back in the day when I was making those videos about how you shouldn't be putting balls to the wall getting these 500,000 gold accessories and stuff, and this is exactly why, because you never know when a new character comes out if you're going to change to a different one. The standard of the community shouldn't be your standard. As a matter of fact, the standard of the community is bullshit. Level 10 gems at like Argos, level 10 gems at like Vulcan, like these kids were on crack. Like, just a shout out to everybody. Like, you should never have ever been felt like you needed to be pressured into these crazy 5x3s. And right now, you got people trying to pressure you into 5x3 plus 1 or plus 2, upgrading your ability stone. It's the same bullshit. You're dealing with the exact same crap that we've been dealing with since the beginning of the game. These kids think that they've decorated it in a new light, and it's not. It's the same shit again. So please, everyone, listen. Don't fall into this trap again. Do it when you're ready. Do it when it's actually mandatory and necessary. Probably Thameen is what I'm thinking. Maybe even Voldyke. But with these normal modes are kind of easy. So play it by ear. But don't do something before your account's ready to do it. That's all I'm saying. But go ahead. I'm sorry for
yeah,
cutting you off.
that's
I
right.
just feel like that's a huge point that everybody seems to have missed. Um,
Yeah, that's a perfect point because I spent like so much gold on it, and I just felt like really pressured to make 5x3 on every character. So, for example, on Shadowhunter, I bought 20 books at 15k each.
oh no.
So
Oh no. Stop. No.
yeah,
Oh
and
god. No.
imagine like first
Wait,
they were
not
like
demonic impulse books too, right?
yes, it was
Oh
Demon Impulse. Uh, uh,
no.
and let me say also this, like at first they were 21,000.
You know, at the
So
time,
when
the
they
perfect suppression books were like 50 gold too, way back
yeah,
then.
yes. So at first they were like 21k, and then they fell in 1 week. They fell to 15k. So I thought actually I'm making profit, and it was like beneficial to make it. But yeah, now it's actually my weakest character from
Now,
these.
can I ask a question right here and now? Because I want you to continue. You're actually so well spoken. I'm enjoying this. But do you or do you not think that buying that stuff at those times has held your account back overall progression wise?
Uh, at first I thought it was like worth it because I was doing a lot of buses, right? So all my 6 characters were doing like Vatan buses and Vikas buses. So I was actually, because of these setups, partially I was making like 250k or 200k each week at
And
like
back then, that was a
Vikas.
lot, to be honest.
That was a lot, yeah.
See, so
Most
there's a good
people were
argument there
doing
because you could justify spending, a 500,000 gold on a character if you could make that back within 2 to 3 weeks.
yeah, but I think overall I didn't make it back. Overall, at some of these characters, like the scrapper costed me so much money.
Now,
I
let me
I
ask another
I also
question
had
there,
like
which is kind of rigged in my favor here, but let's ask another question there. So, that same value that you were making off the buses, right? If you had bought in cheaper builds and stuff just to get through the game, do you think that Chaos Dungeons and just the normal content could have provided you more value over time than you got out of that short period of time of being ahead?
yes, overall it would make more value, I think. But I would say it was worth for Destroyer and Gun Lancer because I was running and I still am. I'm still playing Red Gun Lancer, and Destroyer is just extremely unpopular class. So the 5x3 builds for these two in particular, they're like really cheap. Like Destroyer was like 50k, Balancer build was actually 20k purple qualities.
Hands down, paying their value back. Hands down, yeah.
Yes, yes. And also Balancer was like very early on able to solo Voltan boss, so it was like, I don't know, you could get like 1.5k gold from each person, so times 7 plus the gold from Voltan itself. So yeah, this was really paying off. But like I would say passing was really good, but maybe for like some cheaper builds or maybe for cheaper classes, but definitely not Shadowhunter, Berserker, Scrapper, that blade. Yeah, I
Okay.
would say those were
So
not like worth.
let's move towards the next aspect. So those are your 9 characters, right? That doesn't scroll down.
Yeah, basically
Okay.
I'm playing like these 5 right now.
Because the whole concept of this is you wanted to sit down, you wanted to establish some things moving forward. So let's talk about something. What do you want out of the game? I guess that's kind of the first question I usually ask. Is like, what do you really want out of this game? Do you want to be an elite player? Do you want to be one of those kids? Because don't worry about the time wasted shit. Everybody in life wastes time, whether they're working out, whether they're doing something. People want to pretend that they're more efficient with their life or that they're changing the world. Ignore those stupid monkeys. A lot of these people go watch Netflix for 10 hours at a time. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter. You put your time where you want to. So don't worry about that. But what do you want out of the game? Do you want to be at the top end, or do you just want to have 1 or 2 characters at the top end so you can enjoy the content?
Well, I would like to have like 2 or potentially 3 characters that could play the latest content. And that would probably be Destroyer, Slayer, and Gunlancer,
And now, have you
I think.
watched any? Because I know you're new to the channel. Have you watched any of my old resource videos, like the funnel method, rest bonus, those concepts?
I saw like 3 or 4 videos.
Okay. And I hate saying this to people because I know my videos are long and there's a lot now that you haven't watched, right? But
Yeah,
feel free to
just
go back here and there. I'll even maybe PM you a couple of them, just to watch how the game works. Really, it's all about how like rest on a character that is like, and actually we proved it recently that a character that's like 1302 rested produces more value than an unrested character at the top, right? Which is crazy to
yeah,
say, but it's because of the gems and a couple other things. But the whole point is that a funnel method essentially says that you said you want 3 characters, right? So I would argue if you want 3 characters, if you want your destroyer, I'm just going to throw the top, right? I know that's not what you said. You said Slayer, but let's just say the destroyer, the Zerker, and the Gunlancer. You want them to be at the highest level and the peak of where we're at right now. I would say that you need to have 3 characters behind that to be able to funnel them. So for every character you have a character behind them to funnel them. It's really more of like a 2-to-1 or a 1.5-to-1, but a 1-to-1 is perfectly fine because we get enough free materials in the game that it makes up for it. So again, I would say that you pick 3 characters that you're going to get to 1540, and you're going to park them there. You are not going to move them ever again. They're going to sit at 50. Well, not ever. Let's be clear. They'll eventually move up, but you're going to park them at 1520 to 1540, and they're going to stay there for a while. And then you're going to focus on your 3 main characters, and you're going to push them towards 1580. Does that kind of make sense? So you want to get all
yeah, it
6 of
makes
them
sense.
to 1540. But right now, you could probably, with the event that we have going on, you could pick 1 main, which I think it's your destroyer from what I'm looking at,
Yeah, yeah,
and just solidly hone into him. But respect the natural order, something that you might have missed because you haven't watched a lot of my videos. What I mean by that is don't go honing a character that you have to go dump gold into. So if you're running out of bound materials, then use the couple of weeks ahead of you to farm. And I think that's what a lot of people forget is that you're going to be playing the game anyways. You might as well wait and see what comes out and see what happens to benefit yourself. The best part about where you're at is you're now playing from behind, right? And you're really not. And I hate saying that because I actually think 1540 is kind of on current content, like you're basically caught up.
Oh, really?
I really do,
Like,
yeah. So the way I look at it is you're only behind if you're not in the current 3 top tiers of content. We have a Khan, Kyangel, Brawl, right? So if you're not doing at least 1490 content, then yeah, you're behind. But if you're doing at least 1490, 1540 content, you have 4 months before you're kind of knocked out of that pool. Does that make sense? And the reason I say that is
yeah,
because
yeah,
all these players, like there was a comment a long time ago on my videos, and the kid was like, "Well, we don't want to do hard Brawl for 5 or 6 months." The joke's on him; he's been doing hard Brawl now for a year. Do you know what I mean? Like you don't really get a choice; it's a part of your farming content. So you'll always be in that bottom bracket of the players that are doing it. So you'll either always get a player that's carrying you through it. Like, do you see where I'm going with this? There'll always be players in those top 3 because it's a part of their farm content. Does that make sense?
yeah, right. Yeah.
So right now, I would argue that you're not behind, but there's a lot of people that would say you are behind because we are at 1580, right? So let's go with that. We'll say you're behind, but the better thing about being from the back and behind is that you don't have to care about these time frames anymore. You don't give a shit about Voldyke in 4 months, although I'm sure you do. You don't need to. So what I would do is I would really get grounded, essentially, is what I'm saying, and I would put a lot of attention into just farming up those bounds, and hit taps here and there. Try to hit those next thresholds. So like those characters that are 1490, 1475, I would probably try to get, if you really are going to drop off the scrapper, I would recommend just leaving her there if that's the case. But it's not far. Like it's silver to get to 1490, so I would push her to 90, get them to 1520 by getting their sets. Because really, in your main six, you do want to maximize your gold, and to maximize your gold, you really do want to have them doing Triangle at this point.
Wait,
Because
so you think it's worth to push Scrapper to 1490 even though I have to buy the Orehas? I
ooh.
know it doesn't cost gold, but I need
I
to
do think it's
need to
worth
buy
it,
the
especially in your position. And there's a lot of people that are
just
going to
for
hate.
the even though I'm gonna do only cows on these two.
Only because it's in your. Do you have another character that you plan on swapping in for her? You said a support.
Yeah, I'm planning to swap Scrapper for either
Are you
Paladin
gonna
or
delete
Artist.
her, or you? I wouldn't delete her though. You're gonna make
No,
a.
no, I'm not gonna delete her. My plan is to play actively these five and just play these two as my like second thruster and play only cows on them.
Okay, and how long until you get that paladin up? The reason I'm saying this is your main six are really important for gold, and right now she's not able to intake gold for you. She can, but she's getting what Vault and Vicus, which is reduced, and then Clown, which is still great gold. Don't get me wrong. So yes, I do think it's
Yeah,
worth it for you. Is all I'm saying. I do. But maybe not if you're going to swap in the paladin. But if you're going to swap a paladin in, or any support for that matter, I think you should do it sooner than later. You have spent money on the game. I would take the $10, get the character slot, get the paladin in, use a power pass, use knowledge transfer, whatever you got to do to get that character as close as you can to start getting that, using the event materials to start getting him up towards that range to replace her. And the reason again why you want to replace her is you want to have a good strong gold funnel at the top.
yeah, yeah. Right now, as of right now, I'm only deciding like what I would like more if it's Paladin or Artist. I am still not decided.
Okay. I would
So
shit, see that's what sucks about this game is you can't really test out a build, right? So like
yeah, that's my dilemma because like everyone keeps saying that Paladin is like really boring,
people are stupid.
but
Though.
but also like he's the warrior class, so I'm thinking like it would probably be like more suitable for me. But also people are saying artist is much better and it's like unique playstyle and it's so I don't know.
Let me ask
I'm
you a
like
question. The artist is a lot like the bard. People just don't want to admit it. But let me ask you a question. So, like, do your play style? Because you're playing a lot of characters that are very similar. Do you like just being beefy? You like just kind of being able to eat stuff, tank stuff, do your job still, you know, get in the way, get counters. Is that kind of your thing?
well, I'm usually chasing like MVP, so for that Duster is perfect because you just put the shield on, or you put like taunt or something, or super armor so you don't get pushed away.
I'm trying to get an idea for
You
your play style. Because the paladin is kind of beefy in your face, easily can get MVP if that's what you're going for. A better support to save your teammates in all regards. Like I actually think it's better than the other two supports to save your teammates to stop them from taking damage or shield them. Um, but the problem is if you don't have a support mindset where you enjoy those little things like helping your team do better, then you're not going to like a support. And then it just doesn't matter which one you pick. And in that case, I really would just pick the paladin. But the people who say that paladin isn't fun are people who really don't play supports, if I'm being completely honest, or they don't like supports. They just play supports for the gold, or they play it just to have one. People who really love supports, I haven't really met a whole lot of support lovers that like straight hate the paladin, because it's actually pretty good at its job. So that's why I'm asking. I'm trying to get you to lean towards Paladin, not because I don't like Artist, but one, the books are cheaper. It'd be cheaper to get your Paladin up and running because it's been out longer. But two, playstyle wise, I would argue that the Paladin is closer to a Zerker, Destroyer, Gunlancer mentality than the Artist is. The Artist can get one shot. The Artist has to deal with different limitations, like mana limitations, that the Paladin doesn't necessarily always deal with. The Artist also deals with a positional damage buff, like the Bard does. But I will say that the skill ceiling for the artist is probably way higher than the paladins.
yeah, I heard that. I heard the portals especially are very hard to use.
One of the best cleanses in the game too, hands down.
Yeah, and also I heard that not many people know how to pick up the buffs, so they just ignore them.
They ignore
They're
him,
not.
exactly. You can't
Yeah,
ignore a paladin buff. So I'm not trying to make you lean towards it. I just wanted to make that clear that it does seem based on your playstyle that the paladin is more your fit.
yeah. It might be better, the paladin.
Watch some more
Yeah, my
videos
my
on them too. Watch some like
yeah
commentary runs or playthrough runs and see like
yeah
kind of
my
how
my
they play.
playstyle is it's not exactly like eating stuff, but more like being in the face of the boss all the time.
Not just
So
beefy. I
but,
didn't
but
necessarily mean eating stuff. I just
yeah,
meant
yeah,
like you can eat
yeah.
something.
Like with Berserker and Shadowhunter, I'm always dodging. With Slayer too, but with Gunlantern, Destroyer, I'm not dodging any like most of the things because I can tank it with the shields.
Especially
Right?
like the paladin, if you're not as aware of your teammates' positioning, and most players aren't in this game to be honest, but if you're not aware of your teammates' positioning, like very actively aware of your teammates and your surroundings, the paladin's the way to go because the other two supports you really do need to kind of know what's going on. You need to make sure you're not so like the paladin can't really waste his aura or his buff. You can if you're really bad at the game, but you really can't. Whereas the bard and the artist, you can actually waste your buffs entirely because of boss movement or mechanics and things that come up. And some of it's avoidable through game knowledge, but a lot of it's not. Like those two characters get really pigeonholed, and again, that's where that skill ceiling goes way high up. But they're not as I don't think they're as well rounded as the paladin. I think the paladin is the most well rounded, and I'm not saying that because the paladin's actually one of my higher level characters, if not like my main high level character. I'm because I run all three supports. You know what I mean? I want to push the artist into my main six and replace the Deathblade, but the I'm saying it because, I mean, I've been playing now for 4,000 hours. I've played all three supports, and the artist for 1,000 of them maybe, and I can genuinely tell you that of the three, the paladin is just a better support. It's hands down. Of if we were to
Yeah,
throw this into categories, right? Healing, buffing, damage intake, that whole 9 yards. If we were to throw this into categories, I would actually give. Let's say we had 5 categories. I'd give the paladin 4 out of the 5 over the other two supports. That's the crazy thing. And the only thing I would give the other two supports is damage buff potential, because I would say that the artist can probably have its what's it called? Its identity skill. It can probably trigger its identity more than the other two altogether. The bard has the highest damage buff you can possibly get of all the supports altogether. And then I would say that heal wise, the healing is just significantly better on the bard and the support and the artist. So I'd give them 2. Actually, I'd give them 2 out of the 5, and I'd give 3 to the paladin. So 3 to 2. Do you know what I mean? So it's not much. I'm not saying it's much better, but overall, I'd say the paladin's just better rounded.
yeah. For me, one of the arguments why to go for Paladin is
Oh,
also
and
like
counters. He also has 2 counters that are great
yeah,
compared to. Yeah, sorry, I just
yeah.
know that.
One thing is the counters, and I think the Paladin might just perform better with like random groups, which are not as good. Unlike like Bard or Artist, because the DPS
That's a great point too. Where you're
layers.
at in the bracket, where you're at in the
Yeah,
bracket. Yeah, you're right. Like bard and artists are going to perform higher at the higher end. Everything you're saying is true. Yes,
yeah.
100%.
So I even think that the Paladin counter, if you hit the counters consistently, it might outvalue like the stronger buff from Bard if the group is like not as good.
Yep. No, I agree. I
So
agree.
yeah.
It's like that swiftness versus spec concept, skill versus consistency, right? So no, I 100% agree with that. Actually, you have a really good perspective. Actually. Okay, so now that with that being established, go back to your character select screen. So fine, we won't push the scrapper. We'll leave her where she is because she's producing value as is. But you need to get her swapped out like kind of ASAP. But while you're doing that, remember respect the natural order. You don't need to do it ASAP. Like I said, you can work on these other characters. So if
Well,
there's a
I was thinking of getting the Algacia pass, just buying it
and
because
just deleting
I
her, I wouldn't delete her though. If you're gonna
not
oh
deleting her. No, I actually have like fourth character slot.
oh
I
okay, all
deleted
right.
some other
That's
character.
why I
I
tell
had
people
like
if you're a spender, it's just better to get the character slots.
I'm not like exactly like spender. Like I would be spending a lot, but I don't mind like buying an art pass or something,
You spend
or
$100
buying.
in a year, you're a spender, right? That's like so it's okay if you don't spend a
Yeah,
lot.
then I guess I am a spender. Yeah,
It's the value you get from character slots over deleting the character. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Like we had a guy that we did the podcast with, and he deletes characters, and I was like, dude, that's crazy because you spend money, so you should just buy a character slot for $10 and make another character. Like, because even if you don't ever play these characters, there's going to be a week or two where you just have a ridiculous amount of free time and you want to play the game more. You can go do a couple rested low pangs or a couple rested chaos and still get a shit ton of value out of that. Do you know what I mean? So it's that concept. It's called accessible resources. So that's all. That's all I'm saying. You already have the character
Yeah,
slots,
yeah,
and you know what I'm saying. Just don't delete. I wouldn't delete characters anymore. I don't think that's intelligent. That's all. That's my 2 cents. You know. But look, trying to keep this full circle and roll around it. Okay, so then back to the goals. Your destroyer, does he have bound materials?
yes, some. Yes, like well, actually, not that much because I recently
Just
owned
honed.
him.
Okay, so I
Yeah,
would leave him alone for a little
so
bit. He's at
so I
1540, right?
yeah,
So we talk about milestones a lot in these videos that I do. Go back to your character select. I'm sorry, I'm having you go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
that's right.
He's at 1540, so he's at a threshold where it's very beneficial to him. The next threshold after that is 1560 for Hard Brawl, who gives a shit, right? So there's nothing in your window coming up that's worth pushing him. Do you get what I'm saying? You could get the
Yeah,
1560
I also
Chaos
think that
Dungeon.
the Destroyer is like in a fine spot. He gets into every group like quite quick because of the weapon, and I also bought the level 10 gem on him, so
Very
people
nice.
accept me
Oh
quite
yeah,
fast.
especially with
Quite
the
fast.
event sevens. Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you Rage too? You're right. Yeah, you are Rage Hammer.
yeah, I'm right. And I also MVP like every time.
Yeah,
So
big bonks, probably like 400 million bonks. The all right. So now go back to your other screen though, because we're just trying to set your goals up. Remember. So in the meantime, do your Gunlancer, Zerker, and Slayer have bound materials? I'm gonna guess that the Slayer doesn't have bounds.
so the Slayer is like 1 week old. So
Very
I just
nice.
honed I just honed her like
So you
very
need your set.
recently.
You need your set.
So I need her set. Yeah,
Yeah.
she has like just like 2 ancient pieces I think right now or
Now the
something.
Zerker and the Gunlancer, are they completed sets too?
And the Berserker is missing ancient weapon
Okay.
only.
So I would say your
And
first goal, honestly, is to get them their sets. That's your first goal, and
yeah,
farm up
yeah,
bounds while you're doing it, and you can slowly hone and tap them too. So like you can, I would tap them. I think it's 15 plus 15. I would get them all to 1540 if you have the bounds. So any of these characters that have bound materials, I would be hitting a tap here and there. Because the quicker you can get them to 1540, the quicker you get to that next threshold, you can start getting your Kyangel set, and then you can start working on your other plans. Your goals are actually
yeah.
really easy, if I'm being completely honest. Stop playing your second half unless you have extra time. Play your main 5 unrested, if possible. If possible, right? Because I don't want you to burn out. Play them unrested, if possible. Get these characters their sets. That's like priority number 1, because you can't really move forward without that. That's where you're at right now. So even if that means that you do none of your dailies this week, but you spend an hour in Lobby Simulator trying to get that done, that's fine. That's the most valuable thing to your account at the moment, is to get those sets.
Yeah.
I know that nobody wants to hear that. I understand completely that nobody wants to hear that they might sit in the lobby, but it's definitely the most valuable thing to you. So all of these characters have setups. They all have 5x3s.
Yeah, all of them, even Slayer.
Yeah. So I would work on that. Your goals are actually really easy, man. You're actually in a much better place than you think. You need to get these characters to 1520, get them their free set, get them a free item level. Once they're all to 1520, only with bounds, don't go crazy. Take the farm time. It's okay to spend a week without doing anything. Sometimes it's totally fine. A lot of the people in the Discord, they see me doing shit constantly, right? Like I'm always honing and always tapping. But I had a video on this concept, actually, the different play styles of the game. And when you play 20 plus characters, that's kind of your that's how you play the game. Is you're always doing something. Do you know what I mean? It's how you keep up. It's how you keep moving.
Yeah, yeah,
But in your situation with a 9 character roster, you don't need to do that. You actually are better off with what you have, refining and rehoning your plan every single week. Like, where am I at? Let's recalibrate. Let's see where I can put the most energies. Again, I would stop pushing your destroyer right now, just for right now. Even if it's a week or two, we're not talking for 10 years. We're talking for a week or two. Don't push the destroyer. Don't even touch him. Don't tap him. Don't waste the gold. Don't spend $1 on him. Put some energy into getting these characters their sets. That Berserker, because he's only missing one piece, I would actually start honing him towards 1540. Does he have bounds? Can we swap to him real quick? And don't
sure.
feel bad about swapping. I put up videos that are 2 hours. I don't give a shit. So we'll take our time with this. We make it for the people who want to watch it, not for the people who I'm trying to impress. I'm not trying to impress anybody. I'm trying to help people.
Also, what do you think about level 3 set priority? Should I do it as
Kyangel?
fast as possible?
No, it
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
on this player.
It's that same concept. You're already behind, so you have no
Because I
pressure.
still didn't have time to do Elgasia, so I couldn't enter the
Okay,
Kyangel.
well, that's another goal. So make sure you get that done. or
Yeah.
pay for it. Either or, it doesn't matter. It's like $10 if you
So
already have South Vern done on your destroyer and all that. It's like $10. I would do it. Just food for
so
thought.
yeah, Berserker is
Show his
missing weapon.
bounds. Nope, you already told me that. I know. I just
Yeah.
want to see his
Alright.
bounds. Right now, we're trying to figure out how much
And
potential you have on these. Yeah, you have
yeah, he's
919 bounds. Go
9,
tap him.
9. Yeah.
Like right now on stream, go tap him. You have the
Oh,
gold. You have
alright.
everything. Yeah. Do you have books? That's the next question. Do you have any honing books?
Oaks, I can check.
Do you utilize the event?
Yeah, of course. I always buy the Maharaka event fully.
Yeah, so you have
And
books. So let's go tap him. Go
yeah.
put a couple taps in him, see what you get.
Well, I use the books on other character.
Okay.
Would you tap with the both books from you?
If it's worth it, but why don't we go to your honing thing and see where you're at? Not those ones,
Okay.
not the gold books. You don't need those for this. You just need the next ones. Because you have 900 stones. So he's very much like you could get one tap right now and have him at 1520 and he's already getting a better dungeon, right? So we're going to get you that one level because you can get a whole better chaos dungeon and farm rate for one item level. And that's why actually you sitting here is kind of hurting my soul right now because I don't know how long you've been sitting at 19, but if you've been here for a while at 1519,
No. It's actually he's like 2 days here. He was
Okay, perfect. Okay.
I just got like 2 pieces recently, so he was sitting at like 505.
And now that you have the destroyer at level 10, I would start trying to get them some 7s. Just slowly, getting them 7s, farming them up. Let's see. So
Yeah,
yeah,
well,
see those
the good-
13s? Because you're going to get those 13s to 15s. Go ahead and tap one of them. Pick one and hit it. Oh, you need the arrays, so yeah.
Yeah.
So I see where your bottleneck is. Do you do your trade skills?
Yeah, I do actually.
Okay, so you have
I do.
trade mats. Have you been making the arrays in the stronghold, or do you sell your trade mats?
Yeah, I was making them and I was selling them to push the characters, push Destroyer, Berserker. So
Okay, check your
recently.
check your storage real quick. See if you have any chests with those arrays. If you don't, I am going to actually ask you to buy them. You don't have to. You can say no at any point with something that you're uncomfortable, but I am actually going to ask you to buy them.
Yeah, I don't think I have any.
So you have two choices. Yeah, because it's only one tap. That's kind of why I'm having to do this. So go
Yeah, I
back
think
to
I will
that.
actually do it.
Tap buy 7 for now because I just want to see how many books you have before I lead you down this path. Because they are going up in price, which is not to be a dick mid video with a friend that I'm helping, but told you so. um, sorry. All right, let's see what you have for books.
Let's try.
Save that for the weapon too. You have
Oh, I
one
have
book.
one.
Can we check the prices on those real quick? Now, this is not something I would recommend. Did you use the event?
No.
Did you clean out the whole event shop this week for stuff?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So let's see how much these are real fast. And then if they're too much. So 288. Now go back to your tap real quick. We just want to see if it'll save you the value. So 320. It's already less than the gold value, so we're probably going to do this. Yeah, you are going to buy these books. Because it's going to save you the resources on all
Yeah,
of
I thought so. It could be worth.
them. Hopefully one tap. Oh, dude, that looked so good right there. So go ahead, buy, don't buy, go
No,
crazy.
buy
Get
for-
70. Do 10 at a time. Because you might one tap. So just do 10. Oh, okay, you're going to do 14.
I
2
will
at a
do
time.
like 2
I like
times,
it.
yeah.
Nope, I like that better because you might get it. And then get 2 books. I'm very happy that you're trusting me with this because trust does go a long way with the stuff that I teach people because some of the stuff's not what everyone's going to tell you to do.
I mean, it's not much bought.
How many pieces
You
do you
have-
have actually, too, of the set?
5.
No, I mean of the,
What do you mean?
like, hit eye? Yep.
Oh, you mean these, right?
Oh, 2. So you have like 2 weeks
Yeah.
before you get that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is worth it because you have 2 weeks of farming. That's a lot of materials that you're going to get if we can just get this one tap. This is worth it, I promise you. It doesn't always feel like it right at the time, but I promise in 2 weeks you
Oh.
will hands down pay the value back.
Yeah,
And if you
I
really
know.
wanted, you could do it in 1 week just by doing hard mode brawl. But that's the other thing too. By getting this to 1520, you can actually go do, not hard mode brawl, but you can do 1 through 6 of brawl, which might get you your pieces faster, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Good luck finding a 1 to 6. That's a different story. You're like me. You don't like the red dots. I feel that. Come on,
Yeah,
give
exactly.
us a good tap. Don't make him go to the pity wall for this. Okay, that's fine. You're
Well,
already at 25% though. I was just really hoping this would hit for you. And the other thing too, right? Like people are still clinging way too hard to their gold. And it's unfortunate because the update that we got is influxing the economy with so much gold, like 8% more gold, and people are still like sad about. Yeah, like, you're gonna pity this probably, but the pity's not even that expensive. Like I didn't realize how cheap this is now.
Yeah, it's kind of cheap.
Yeah, it's actually
I
not that bad.
remember like back at Ycast, everyone was like tryharding to get the get these pieces to like 22 or 23.
Yeah, they were crazy though. They were crazy.
Yeah,
They're still crazy. There's still kids doing that shit. There's people with
yeah,
level
most of these
25
players
weapons.
are not playing nowadays.
Oof, most of these, yeah, everybody heard that, right? Most of these
Yeah.
players aren't playing nowadays, and that's the truth.
Yeah, on Calvasus we had like 2 big guilds, which were like full of like tryhard players who were like at least like minimum 50 or 60 item levels above the content.
Well, yeah, because all they
Most
were
of them
doing is
are
watching.
not playing.
Do you remember that concept Sima that ATK kept pushing out, rice eating, right? That concept was very real. These players would do that and then watch all of us get it for cheaper, not even a month later. So it's that constant punch in the balls from Smilegate. But it's what you get. You wanted to be ahead of the game. It's not worth it in this game. There's a degree. There's moments in the game where it is worth it. Like I do think by Thameen, because the Chaos Dungeons we get are 1620, and that might be the last Chaos Dungeons we get for like a year. It might actually be worth it to get your characters to 1620, and I got a video that I'm working on for that. But that boy, is that video gonna go terrible with people in the community because they're gonna be like, this kid's crazy. He was just telling us a week ago that this was a bad idea. But that's the thing. You need to be able to read into stuff sometimes. You got to look at it for what it is. It might end up taking you the whole 10k, like from 30 to 20. Which is okay, it happens.
Yeah, hopefully not. Oh, it actually might. Wow.
That's okay. Well, we kind of knew it was going to pity once it hit like that 30-40%. And if it doesn't now, then that's kind of upsetting. But you're not really bankrupting your account for this, and I promise you the value is there. And you're going to leave this character there for a little bit. And then you're going to go work on a different one. And then once you get them all to like 1520, then we can start pushing them to 1540. But again, you are not touching that destroyer, or I hope you don't. I hope you listen. Do not touch that destroyer until the rest of your characters.
I wasn't planning on honing him anyway.
At least a month, and I know that sucks to hear, but at least a month. The goal is to try to get you as close to Voldyke as we possibly can by Voldyke. So we have 4 months. And we can check in once a month, once every couple of weeks. Like I do that same series with JB. I haven't talked to JB in a little bit, but I do another one with the buddy Lights in Discord too. But we recorded it, but it was like a 2-3 hour video because me and him had so much fun talking. So we just never really did what we were supposed to. So ordinarily, I would actually tell you to go tap a different piece at this point and see if you can get a 1-tap on it. But I'm not going to do that to you because you don't have the resources that I do to do shit like that. So I would never have you do that. I'd rather you just pity this one piece because we're in this specific situation where you just need one hit. We're just going to pity this if we have to pity it. I like that you favorited it. That's funny. Smart. Yeah, the books are great value right now. I mean, that's a whole nother side thing in this video that we could talk about. I didn't realize how good those were right now. In that range. Come on. Yeah, it's definitely going to pity. I'm sorry that this hit pity on you.
Yeah, it's alright.
I'm happy with your mentality. I really love that you're not... There we go. It didn't pity. Nice. Yep. So that's it. You're 1520, I think. Right? Bam. Yeah. So now you got that whole next dungeon, and you can do 1 to 6 Brel next week if you want, or this week, whatever it is, and potentially get your set faster. Right? Are you still getting those bonuses from the Brels too? Like, are you still getting like extra?
What do you mean extra?
You know how it like doubles the amount that you get, like, of the pieces?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I would actually recommend trying to do 1 to 6 if you can. Just to get him his weapon, get it out of the way, and he's good and he's done.
But I think he won't get into the group.
Okay, because of the gems. That's fair. Nope, that's fair. 1 and 2, 1 to 4 is fine.
I think even if I had 7s, I think I wouldn't get into the group.
Why?
I tried on like Destroyer before when he was at this point. 15-20, and people just take higher level characters.
Yeah, all right, that's fair. That's fine. That's fine. So take your time, get your set when you get your set. Now, can we swap to the Gun Lancer? I might end up having you do the exact same thing on the Gun Lancer in a second. Maybe not, because he's 15-11.
Yeah,
He's a little
he has
lower.
quite a way to go.
So let's jump on him and see where he's at. We're going to jump on each of these characters except for the Slayer, because you already said that she's really not close. And I would probably, if you're really not going to care about the Scrapper and you're kind of all set with her, like straight up already, I'm tempted to tell you to just take her gems and everything off of her already and just use Preemptive Strike and do Chaos Dungeons and send that shit to one of these other characters. That's just my opinion. I mean, you can still do your Vault and Vicuses, but like...
I mean, I already did that, so...
Did you? Oh, you're hilarious.
Yeah. I even sold her build to get more gold.
Look at your
I
balance.
already knew I wouldn't play her.
What do we got? What do we got? 380.
400.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you are going to want to wait on him. Just because you can't get to 15-20 right now without more pieces. How many pieces does he have? Oh, he's close. Have you done it this week? And how many do you have in
Like,
your... Go ahead.
I already did Brawl on him.
This week. Okay, how many do you have in the bank?
I have 4.
4. Oh, okay. So, nope. Next character.
So he's gonna take like 3 weeks, I think.
If you do 1 and 4, you can... 1 to 4, you can get it next week. What's his gems look like?
Oh, he's like only 5.
Yeah, I mean, they'll take a GL. They should. I hope they do, at least.
Yeah, but they don't usually gatekeep Galancer. He's also one of those good characters which get accepted a lot.
Okay.
And also, technically on Red Galancer you only need 2 gems for Charged Singer and Third Cannon.
That's funny. Alright, go to your Shadow Hunter. We're gonna move through this quickly because your goals are the easiest goals I've done recently because your account's actually in a pretty good
Really?
position. Yeah, you don't even have that hard of a concept. You just need to hit your next milestones, and your next milestones are all based around the Brawl set. So yeah, your goals are easy because until you get the Brawl set, it's not smart for me to have you push until you have that. And since you have to wait to get that anyways, why waste the materials pushing now? So in the coming weeks, you can just make your own arrays and stuff and save a little bit of gold by doing it that way. Do you know what I mean? So start planning. So that's a part of your plan going forward too. If you can make 100 arrays next week, sell 75, keep 25 for yourself. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know what's also funny? That actually like 2 weeks ago, all of these characters were like 1490. And this was like
that's really good.
1520. So yeah, I just recently honed a lot on these.
No, you're making great strides.
And yeah, I thought I'm quite behind.
You're not. You're in the middle range pool right now. If anything, you're not at the back of the pack, but you're not at the front of the pack. You're in the middle of the pack right now. And we can easily get you to the higher end middle of the pack. You're never going to be at the front of the pack. Let's just get that out of the way. You can have one character caught up eventually, but you are never going to be at the front of the pack ever again. You will never compete with somebody who has 6 main characters at 1580 right now. That's just not in your cards, unless they quit the game or you spend a ton of money. Do you see where I'm going with this? So you need to take that goal. Exactly. You need to take that goal and throw it the fuck out the window. But a more realistic goal is to be at the upper end of the middle class, so to say. And you're totally already there. You're in the middle class right now. So to get you to the upper end of middle class, to have 3 characters at 1580, totally realistic. Totally realistic by Voldyke. Maybe. We'll play with that a little bit more. But definitely realistic to have at least 1 1580 by Voldyke. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at her balance. She's got 460. But again, you already did her Brawl this week as well?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so you're stuck this week. You have nothing more that you can do other than dailies this week. So I would just try to pad your gold, get some of your raids done, get your gold, get more of their set next week, and then tap next week. Now, quick question. Her gems.
Oh, she has only 5s.
I would get those to 7 ASAP. Only because it's 2 gems, so it's not going to kill your account's progression.
Well, the thing is...
Are you selling gems?
I was thinking about it. I'm selling gems, yes. And... actually, the Shadowhunter has a very hard time to getting into Brawl groups, so I just bought the bus for her. Gate 1 to 4, I just bought the bus to finish her set faster.
If you had level 7s, I don't think you'd be getting gate kept on her, though. You have level 5s on a character that only needs 2 gems. So somebody said something to me recently, it holds a lot of truth. On a 2-gem character, you should always have above what's required. So if you required to have level 7s on a normal character right now, you should technically have like level 9s, right? And that logic's not foolproof, right? Like there's flaws to that logic, but it has some truth to it. So in this regard, I would say that level 5s are the minimum for Brawl content. the minimum for Kai and Gil normal, right? Not really, but like the minimum for Brawl content. So you need to have at least level 7s for what you're doing, is just my opinion. And then when you get to Kai and Gil, maybe have her upgraded to level 8s, but not really. I would stay with the level 7s for Kai and Gil normal, but by the time you get her to 1580, she better have at least 8s or 9s. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you don't have to agree with that. You don't have to like it. I'm saying it. If you take it and you use it, great. If you don't, keep paying for the bus. Do whatever the hell you want. I'm just trying to help you. That's it. But there is a lot of truth to that.
Yeah, to be honest, Shadowhunter is right now my like least favorite character out of those I
Yeah, it's
play.
not your playstyle.
So
It's not your playstyle. No, it actually makes 100% sense. I don't
I
like.
mean, I'm having fun when I'm fighting with her sometimes, but it's not like exactly my playstyle. It's like, you know,
I'm
but
actually the artillerist seems more like your thing.
yeah, but he's super far behind,
He is super far behind.
and he's also kind of ranged a little bit. So
Also true. You know who you might like though? No, not really actually. The Slayer was a good pick. I'm actually happy you made a Slayer.
yeah, I was worried a little bit, but actually I fell in love with her immediately. So she just seems like better berserker, to be honest. Like she already kind of
It's
almost
harder.
out. She almost out DPS my berserker right now, which is crazy, considering she's like 1495. Yeah, and she is level 50, and she almost out damages my berserker. So that's crazy.
So do you feel happy with this?
What do you mean?
What we've talked about. Do you know what you're doing going forward? Like in the next 2 weeks, what are your goals?
Yeah. Like out of this, I was just expecting to hear if you think whether it's worth to go for 1580
Nope,
or
not
whether to
yet.
go for fully like 1540. So
Full
you just assured me in what I thought would be more
because the
what I
scrapper
thought would
you're
be
gonna
better.
drop off. So this is a caveat to what we just talked about. Don't push Destroyer 1580 till you have your other 1540s.
Yeah.
So once you get Zerker, Gunlancer, Slayer, Shadowhunter, because you're gonna keep them, right? Make those decisions now, because you're gonna keep them. You need to get them to 1520 and get their sets. That's prior one. The Zerker, you can tap him. You can tap him. Even if you don't get the other set, you can technically tap him. It's just you're not really getting any value for it right now. So that's what I'm saying. You're better off just saving the gold, building up the arrays instead of buying the arrays. You know, do your trade skill, right? So playing the time because you can't technically push him to 1540 yet. But because the scrapper's getting dropped off, you really got to figure out what support you want to pick, and that's something you need to do this week. You need
Yeah.
to figure it out because you got to get that character up and running, and you got to start getting bound materials on them so you don't have to spend a lot.
Well, I can tell you what's my plan, and you can say what you think about it. So my plan was to play like these three, do barrel gate 1 to gate 4 with the group, with top group. Then try to get the group with Shadowhunter. And if it doesn't work, I will just buy a bus
You should
to
learn
support.
Procal because the Shadowhunter is hands down my favorite character to do Procal on, and you'll get into groups like that.
Yeah, then on Slayer I need to buy boost, obviously, so because she doesn't have like nearly anything. And then I would create the Paladin, make Algacia pass, and just probably find the group anyway, because it's support, hopefully.
No,
So
that sounds fine.
I would just hone him to 1490, because I think Algacia gives you like 1460
Yeah, and your set.
Algacia
You'll also
pass.
get the relic set too, which is nice.
Oh, that one too. So
Yeah, if you buy the
I
power
think
pass.
it should be kind of alright to get into battle groups and clan groups as support.
So in two
But
weeks
I'm
when we check in, what are you gonna try and have? You're not gonna have all of them to 1540, so let's knock that out.
Yeah, obviously.
But the Zerker should be
So
1540 within the next 2 weeks.
yeah, hopefully.
And as long as you get your set on the Gunlancer, he should be close to. Actually, so in 2 weeks when we check in again, I want to see that the Zerker's 1540, the Gunlancer and the Shadowhunter are both 1520. Like that has to happen, 1520. Maybe not with the Shadowhunter because you do need more pieces. But you got to have at least a gun that's at a 1520, and hopefully the Slayer is at least 1500 by that point. Has a couple pieces of the set, and in the next 2 weeks, I would like to see in 2 weeks when we check in again that the Paladin is there at least 1400, if not higher. I mean,
Yeah, well, I'm
1490 is an
planning
easy
to
accomplishment. So
I'm planning to get him 1490 ASAP for Paladin, so he could be like he could catch up to my other characters quickly. I think that's a smarter move.
sorry,
Better
you're
than
in the next 2 weeks. Are you okay with that?
yeah, I think it's
Are you confident
achievable.
in it? Yeah. Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Well, depends if the Paladin build is gonna be because I wanna make the Elgasia pass,
Go
push
to
him to
your
1490,
go to
and
your
make this pass as well.
go to your market real quick, and let's go look at the Paladin books, engraving books. Yep. There you go. I'd say that that's
Oh, I think
doable.
these are. I
They're a
mean,
little more expensive than they should, but that's fine. So instead of doing that, why don't we actually go to the auction house real quick?
wait, isn't it better to go like buy heavy armor or something?
Yeah, to buy something like I agree. I do agree. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, heavy armor
Yes.
seems very good.
Or Vital
Or maybe
Point,
like
drops of ether,
drops
drops.
of
Yep.
either, yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
that's exactly what I thought.
Yep.
Oh, this one's actually amazing.
And then go to the auction house and see what the jewelries with 5 Bluster cost. You don't have to do this. You can just type Bluster. Oh yeah, you do. I lied. I lied to you. You do have to do this. And then just type in Blustor 5, Swiftness. I don't do full Swift, but a lot of people do. Just do it because it'll get you into content. And actually, without all
And what would you
the
say secondary would be? Heavy
uh,
armor? Or drops
no,
of
don't
leather?
please don't do heavy armor. Those are shit supports. Those are supports that plan on dying. Drops of ether,
Oh.
vital point, stuff like that. Yeah, easy. Oh my god, look how cheap this is. No, don't just do
Oh.
rings. Do
Oh.
do all. Do all. Yeah, 6K.
Yeah, usually I'm aiming to get like get 2 rings and 1 e-ring with those +5.
Not just that. Go to the necklace. I'm curious to see what your most expensive piece would be. Nothing. Okay, so now let's drop out drops of ether, take out drops of ether, put on vital point. Yeah, look at how cheap these are. And this is with the engraving. This is with the blessed aura, dude. That's crazy. No, not that one. That's crap.
Yeah.
Specs
Well, I wouldn't get blessed aura on necklace.
on your
anyway.
necklace. No, we're just trying to see. We're seeing the extremes here. We're trying to see like what's the worst. Actually, can you filter out Yeah, thank you. Yeah, look at this. This is so good. These are class engravings too. Like these are class engravings.
Oh, wow.
Oh, look at that
Oh,
one.
quality.
All right, now take out vital point, and we're gonna try another one. So expert and awakening. These are gonna be the more expensive of the two. Let's be real.
Yeah, I think so.
Or not.
Oh, actually,
Those aren't bad. Yeah, check all 3.
Oh, those are kind of shit qualities.
That's fine. That's something I would buy. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I'm kind of perfectionist, so I'm
No,
always trying to get as high.
We're just trying to
as I
prove
can.
a point. How quick can you get the character up
But
and
yeah, I
running?
agree. I agree.
I mean, those are pretty good considering. Oh, look at that one, dude. You should buy that now in preparation. No, I'm kidding. But I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Bid. Well, actually, it's up in an hour. If you don't mind bidding 6K for something like that, that's an option. But you don't even have your stone. You don't even have
I
your
don't
stone
like doing that. I like to first cut the stone.
Yet.
And then I like to like pinpoint 5.
I know.
5
No.
pieces
I
and
agree.
then buy them at once.
I agree. That's why I said no. All right, now
So-
go put awakening on it, and let's see how your awakening is. And then after you do awakening, oh oof, these might be. No, there you go. Yeah, look at dude. This is a cheap character to get up and running. It really is.
Yeah, but I think it's better to go like 5 it now.
Well, it doesn't matter. You're gonna do whatever you have to for the stone, right? Right. So you're gonna play around the stone. Now let's do one more thing. Take off Blessed Aura. Take out Blessed Aura. And put on anything with that in combination that we just talked about. It could be Vital Point. It could be, we already have Vital Point. It could be Drops of Ether. It could be Expert, Awakening. Any of those you can throw in right here. Because we want to see some necklace prices. We're not going to look at anything but necklace prices right now. 14K, 39K.
Well, it needs to be spec, right?
Yep. Okay. So those aren't that bad price-wise for a necklace, first off. But second off, let's swap it up again.
Usually what I like to do is to cut like stone like 6-8 or 6-7 at least, then get double +12 books, and then that's usually enough to get only 4-3 on necklace.
Okay.
So if I would actually do like this,
Be cheaper. They might not
Oh,
list it. I know a
maybe
lot of people
maybe not
stopped.
for the conservator, but maybe expert.
Yeah, there you go.
See there,
Yep, no,
that's fair.
100%. So what I would say, you're looking at a 100K investment for this character, only because you're going to buy the books, which is going to be about 20K in gold. Even at the prices that they're at, you're probably spending about 20K to get to 1212. And then you're probably looking at anywhere from 10 to 40K in gold. So we're going to say 100K, but if it's less, that's great, right? So just keep that in
Well,
mind.
I'm aiming for like 60K total, maybe.
Okay. No, I'm okay with that. I'm giving you a higher bar. If you get lower, that's great, right? Do you get what I'm saying? So just keep
Yeah.
that in mind. The reason I'm saying that is you need to plan for that. So not only in this next 2 weeks do you have to do that, you need to set aside gold for him specifically, right? Because we're talking about you honing, we're talking about you doing all these different things. You need to factor all that together. So you're looking at the total cost of getting the Zerka to 1540, getting the other characters up their sets. Just get them their sets. Don't worry about honing them right now. Just get them their sets. Get the Zerka to 40. And the Paladin, I'd say in the next 2 weeks you need to get at least 100 to 200,000 gold. We'll say about 200,000. You need to get at least 200,000 gold, which might be really hard for you. I'm not sure actually. If you're doing trade skills, not so much because you can make kind of a lot of gold off those. But do you think that's possible or no? And if it's not possible, we bring down the goal a bit.
Yeah. Well, thing is, it's kind of fun, but I'm making like a lot less gold than I used to
Because you're
in
not
those
busting anymore.
characters.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not bossing, and also like I'm doing only 2 raids. So I'm doing only Kaku and Belshazzar, and Vikas and Valtan. To be honest, they just don't seem to be worth my time. Like I
You
don't
could
have
still
as
bust
much
those, to be
time.
fair.
I don't have as much time as I used to. So that's one thing.
Okay, fine. So
And
let's
they
just base the
also give
math.
like
Let's base the math off that. Let's keep this on the train on tracks, right? Let's just do the math basically. If you do your clown and your 1 to 4 brawl, how much gold do you usually make per those two per character? Is it like 9,000?
yeah, I guess 9,000
Like
per
9,000, we'll go with
character.
that. So 9,000, 9,000. Can you get it done on at least the top 3 characters?
Yeah, yeah, I
Okay,
can do
so
it
that
on
right
three
there is
characters.
37,000 gold, right? So you'll make about in the next 2 weeks 74,000 gold just off those 2 characters. Your other gold, right? Because you're selling gems at the moment, which I really wouldn't recommend. But you
Also, big part of my goal is making these orejas with these,
and selling them.
excavating, selling them. So I usually only pick up the purple
Do you know how
relics
much gold you make? Can you get me an idea?
for 10,000 energy. I get like
A week.
12,000 gold. So and it refreshes like every 2 days, I believe. So
3 days,
in
yeah.
a week it could be like
30K.
36,000,
Yeah, 36. So
30K.
we're gonna add 36 and 36, 72 and 74. So you have enough gold. But the reason I'm doing this is in the next 2 weeks you will have enough gold to hit both of these goals. So
Well,
no, yeah, in two
also
weeks,
selling gems. I'm
which is
always
just an extra gold on top of it. We've already established that you
yeah,
have enough now. Anything extra is great, but I really wouldn't keep
yeah.
selling your gems. But I would, but I wouldn't. It's hard to say. Either way, we've just established a baseline. I've said that you need about 100 to 200,000 gold, probably more close to 200,000, depending on how much you spend on the Zerker for taps and how much you end up spending on the Paladin for his jewelry and stuff. So again, all I'm saying to you is in the next 2 weeks, I would like to see when we check in that all of your characters have their sets, or at least are close to having their sets, which is a small gold cost. You don't have to hone them. The Zerker to 1540 and the Paladin wherever you want him, like item level wise, will be free because it'll be silver. But then in addition to the item level, to have his 5x3, if that's possible. Because it's cheap. We
Yeah,
just saw
yeah,
how cheap it is. So again, I'm telling you, I think it's going to cost you all of your gold in the next 2 weeks. But I think it's worth it also going forward in the future.
yeah. I
Is that
think so too.
okay? Okay.
Yeah.
So whole conversation. When we first started talking, what were your anxieties? What was the problem that you were running into? You said it
Well,
already, but
yeah. My dilemma was whether it's worth to just like hardcore push for Destroyer to get to 1580 as ASAP, or whether to get full for 1540s and to make like stronger roster. Because to be honest, I just got so bored of my scrapper that I'm not even doing these legionaries on him. So
you should do at least 1 or 2 if you can, if you have the time. It's free gold. Don't force it though. Definitely don't force it, fucker. Right, fuck the character. But so now that we've
yeah,
had
but
this
I
discussion,
sold the build, so
it's
she's
too
like
late.
3 times 3. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
So
I'm
now
only
that
doing chaos on her occasionally.
now that we've, I would do the chaos all the time. It's just great value. The gems are just great value,
Yeah.
especially at 1475. Now that we've had this discussion, so those are your anxieties. Moving forward, what's your plan? What's your goal? And how confident are you that you can hit it in the next couple of weeks?
I would like to hit at least like in next 2 weeks. I think it's doable to have three characters 1540, like Berserker, hopefully Gunlancer, and hopefully Shadowhunter to have like closer, because she's like 1 week behind Gunlancer. Gunlancer is 1 week behind Berserker with the set. I mean, so
Your
yeah,
goal with them should
I
be humble with the Zerk or with the Gunlancer, the Slayer, and the Shadowhunter. Your goal should be humble in the sense just getting your set, just getting the full set should be your goal because you need to
yeah
farm more bound materials on them anyways. The Zerker can get to 1540 because he's sitting on like 900 stones, so he's got a pretty good chance of getting to 40.
yeah I think so.
The other two characters did not have that. They had, I think,
Yeah.
160 was what you had on one of them.
So then after that, after I get like 1540, I guess I will just skip Elgasia through Stronghold and then try to get the level 3 set from Kainable and just kind of have them sit there at 1540. I think that's a good spot because I could finally fill in like these two raids. I could fit in like the candle
Kind
and it
of
would be 3 raids. Yeah,
maximize your gold funnel essentially.
yeah.
Okay. How confident are you that you can hit that?
I think it's quite doable.
Now, do you
Depends,
think it's
like,
going to take you a ton of playtime to do that too? Or do you think you could do it with a reasonable amount of playtime? Are you going to have to play 80 hours a week? Or do you think you could probably do that with 10 to 20 hours a week?
well, it depends how lucky I will be. Like, Berserker can be unlucky with honing
You did
or
just
other
pity a
characters.
13 to
So,
14, so I do agree with you. You did
yeah,
pity. And those were all 10%. Like the fact that that didn't just hit for you at one point, you didn't pity actually. You went to 70, but still, that was like.
yeah. I mean, the RNG is still like a big part of the game. Like Jester, he has a plus 20 weapon, and from 19 to 20, it took 70k more gold than it was supposed to. So yeah. So it depends.
Okay. But you're
RNG is like
relatively
a big
confident.
part. Yeah, I'm relatively confident.
Because I'm looking forward to it. I'd love to check in with players more often and do these videos on a week to week, every couple of weeks, every 3 weeks, every month series. I've done it with JB. I've done it with Lights. I just never uploaded Lights because we just talked for so long. But I would love to actually check in with you in 2 weeks and see where you are.
Yeah, I think we can do that. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to cut the video, and then me and him are going to hang out obviously afterwards. But this is the end of the video. It's been an hour, so I'll catch you guys in the next one.